Palestinian people have the right to return to their territory, and their continued displacement from their place of abode with expanding settlement is illegal and also immoral. Madam Vice President, corruption is a serious threat and a menace to the society at large. Its manifestation frustrates the effort to bring equity to all its citizens. India has taken several steps to reaffirm our commitment to bringing more transparency in governance. Some of the steps taken include ratification of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption in 2011, introduction of the Prevention of Bribery of Foreign Public Officials and Officials of Public International Organizations Bill in 2011, and initiation of a proposal to make bribery in private sector a criminal offense by bringing in an amendment to our penal code. Madam Vice President, India, given its geography as a country with a vast coastline and numerous number of islands, has a traditional and abiding interest in the maritime and ocean affairs. India is party to the Law of the Sea Convention and also party to the Implementing Agreement and Fish Stocks Agreement. We take very keen interest in all matters pertaining to ocean affairs. In this context, it may be recalled that ALCO Secretariat, in collaboration with my division, that is Legal and Treaties Division of Ministry of External Affairs in the Government of India, we have organized a legal experts meeting to commemorate 30th anniversary of the United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea on 5th March 2013 in New Delhi. This meeting was successful in highlighting the achievements of UNCLOS and also identifying the challenges ahead. On the topic environment and sustainable development, Madam Vice President, India shares common responsibility of doing things in a fair and equitable manner, but the massive inequitable consumption of resources by some states has created a deficit when there is hardly enough for those whose needs are yet to be met. Imperative for equity has to be respected. Despite our increasingly proactive engagement on climate issues, India has not wavered from its position that equity concerns must underlie the international climate negotiations. We insist that despite a common goal of global climate stabilization, each country have differential responsibilities to address the problem. To conclude, Madam Chair, Vice President, my delegation wishes to take this opportunity to once again reaffirm that the Government of India stands ready to support and collaborate with ALCO to achieve the common objectives and aspirations of ALCO. I thank you, Madam Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you, India. I call on the Republic of Korea.
Madam Vice President, Secretary General of ALCO, Excellencies and distinguished guests, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I am much honored to be in India, the host country of this session, in the year of the 40th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic ties between the two countries in 1973. In this sense, I would like to start my statement by quoting Mahatma Gandhi, the world-renowned Indian leader of peace and non-violence. Gandhi once said, quote, "We must be the change that we wish to see in the world," unquote. I wish all of us, including my delegation, could participate in this session with his words in mind. I will briefly touch upon three agenda items of our discussion. First, let me start with the Law of the Sea. Last year marked the 30th anniversary of the opening for signature of the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS. On that occasion, Korea had an honor to hold an international conference at the port city of Yeosu to commemorate the historic event. At the conference, participants were in unison that the UNCLOS has proved to be the constitution of the sea as was envisaged from its inception. However, they also expressed the opinion that we will have substantial challenges lying ahead of us. Those challenges include threat to navigation safety, degradation of the marine environment, overexploitation of resources, to name a few. In order to successfully address them, each country and the international community should establish certain practices to make the change we wish to see. For example, in order to end piracy, we have to establish practices that both internally and internationally prosecute and punish those engaged in piracy. Secondly, as for climate change, we are at the transition from Kyoto Protocol to an unknown quantity that is still under discussion. In 2011, in Durban, countries decided to develop a new climate change regime for the year 2020 and onwards. Once again, we have to be the change we wish to see, and I believe we can be that change by being willing to take actions to curb the ever-rising temperature. We have seen too many cases of international agreements that ended up as mere words with no action. The new climate change system should be effective in achieving the goal of addressing climate change by securing every country's implementations. Thirdly, I would like to thank the Secretariat for bringing the anti-corruption issue to this discussion. It was a great achievement that the countries have concluded and adopted the UN Convention Against Corruption. The Convention affirmed that corruption is not an issue pertaining to one country alone, but one which must be dealt with at the international level. In this sense, by bringing the anti-corruption issue to the international front, we can become the change that we wish to see. And we should continue to be the change by implementing the convention in a sincere manner. Excellencies and distinguished delegates, personally, I'm a new face at this august gathering. Therefore, if I sound strange with a new suggestion, please bear with me for a second. But I get the impression that economic development has not got its due attention over ALCO. After the demise of the Cold War, the economic development has become by far the most important issue of the world, especially for most of the developing countries. I wonder if ALCO couldn't play a more active role in this area in some way. More specifically, in formulating some soft law in the field of the Overseas Development Assistance, ODA. For example, ALCO may like to discuss in the future sessions the ways to empower the UN General Assembly to have a bigger voice in the implementations of the ODA. In conclusion, I hope we would have an enjoyable and a memorable time by sharing the views on how we could bring about real change that we all wish to see. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Republic of Korea. I call on Indonesia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Honorable Madam Vice President, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the Indonesian delegation would like to, at the very outset, congratulate the Honorable Dr. Nehru Chada for having been elected as the President and Ms. Hema Uddhav as the Vice President of the 52nd Annual Session. I am highly confident that under your chairmanship, along with the joint efforts of the delegations from member states, this session shall succeed in enhancing ALCO's role in as the ultimate forum for our legal consultation. The Indonesian delegation will do its utmost to contribute for this meeting's productive discussions. Allow me also to convey our sincere appreciation to the government and the people of the Republic of India for its warm welcome and generous hospitality. We would further like to thank the ALCO Secretariat under the able leadership of the Secretary General, Honorable Professor Rahmat Mohamad, for the excellent arrangement of the 52nd annual meeting of the ALCO here in Delhi. Madam Vice President, distinguished delegates, Allow me also to use this opportunity to thank member states of the ALCO for the support to the government of the Republic of Indonesia for the membership of the UN Commissions on International Trade Law, UNCITRAL, for the period of 2013-2019 at the election held on the 67th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, November 2012, as Indonesia is determined to maintain the focus of UNCITRAL on addressing international trade law and to ensure that the works of UNCITRAL in the future will be beneficial to all countries. Madam Vice President, distinguished delegates, one of the pressing issues for our discussion is the budget of ALCO. Indonesia appreciates the ALCO Secretariat for submitting the draft of the budget of ALCO for the year 2014. We believe that the budget is necessary to support the work of ALCO. By the same token, however, it is also our view that budget efficiency measures are still able to be taken by the ALCO Secretariat. We remain confident that our deliberations would be able to come up with a solution in addressing this particular and important issue, while giving our reassurance of our annual contribution to be settled within the time frame of this year. We sincerely hope that our deliberations would find the solution for the budget issue within the framework of the financial abilities and limitations of member countries. Distinguished delegates, allow me to inform this meeting that the government of the Republic of Indonesia held the consultative meeting of like-minded countries and other interested countries on the future work of the Intergovernmental Committee on the Protection of Genetic Resources, Traditional Knowledge and Folklore, the IGC, on 2nd until the 4th of September 2013 in Bali, Indonesia. We believe the consultative meeting could be able to build the confidence and to create the common perception between the like-minded and other interested countries on the future work of the IGC. Madam Vice President, I would like to use this forum to convey Indonesia's heartiest congratulations to Palestine for its admission to the United Nations General Assembly as non-member observer in the United Nations General Assembly. Indonesia also would like to compliment all ALCO's members for the efforts and support in the acceptance of Palestine as a non-member observer in the United Nations General Assembly. Madam Vice President, distinguished delegates, I would like to further reaffirm Indonesia's intention to actively engage in discussions on most of the deliberated items that concern us, namely the law of the sea, deportation of Palestinians and other Israeli practices, among them the massive immigration of settlement of Jews in all occupied territories in violation of international law, particularly the Fourth Geneva Convention of 1949, environment and sustainable development, and challenges in combating corruption, role of the UN Convention Against Corruption. Distinguished delegates, please allow us also to express our comments on two agenda items to be raised on the special half-day meetings. First will be on the agenda item of selected items on the agenda of International Law Commission. We agree that inputs provided by the member states of ALCO would be of significance to the ILC. We put special attention to ILC as it is one of the most important bodies in the development of international law. To that effect, we succeeded in having one of our best diplomats, Ambassador Nugroho Wisnumurthy, to be elected as ILC member in 2011. We believe the topic of immunity of state officials from foreign criminal jurisdiction, protection of persons in the event of disasters, and formation and evidence of customary international law are important for ALCO members, and we hope the discussion in the current meeting could influence the work of ILC. Second will be on the agenda item of extraterritorial application of national legislation, sanctions imposed against third parties. Indonesia would like to emphasize its position where it is unable to agree on the extraterritorial application of national legislation. Indonesia is of the view that enforcement of the above has the potential to contradict the very sovereignty of other states. Madam Vice President, distinguished delegates, finally, Indonesia, as a founding member of ALCO, has always been an active and strong supporter of cooperation between Asia and Africa in order to establish our two great continents to grow more dynamic and prosperous. Once again, I wish to reiterate the Indonesian government's strong support for ALCO and its contribution to world legal affairs. I thank you.
Thank you.